Just wait and see if anybody joins. If you did join, just say hello in the chat just so I know you're there. Good, current views 3. Oh, we got a like, so somebody's joined. So just following on from that last stream, hopefully these will come to an end. Yeah, almost final. It is. It is almost the well, I think it's almost the final build. Let me just see if I can adjust the mic actually, because that's stressing me out a little bit. It's so loud I can hear myself as usual. The other thing I'm going to do here is just try and get the volume right on the VM. So if I just start this and I'm just going to adjust it, it will need turning down straight away. Hang on, I can try and find the audio. I say that, I can't hear it now. Just that bit. Now I can't hear it. Just a tiny bit. Let's try that. Yeah, please let me know if that volume level of the music of the game there is hearable. Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Is it just right? There's always stuff you'll think of. Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking. I've done all sorts of little things and added a few extra things in, but I've done so many changes, and I've got no bytes to go. It doesn't seem to matter what I do now. I just can't seem to get any more space. So there will be very little feature creep because I just can't squeeze any more in there. Not without a complete rewrite. So, following on from last stream, I'm trying to think from where we were. That last stream was, God, it was awful. We had issues, didn't we? Where I think for the first 40 or 50 minutes, no one could see what I was doing because the capture froze. Capture the desktop froze. So, if that happens again, just let me know, and I'll keep a close eye on the chat. So, the purpose of this really is just to show you the changes I've done to this and enhancements and stuff. And then there might be one final version if there are anything, if there's anything significant changes, but I doubt it. If there are any bugs, I'll just push out 1.05, but 1.04 following this video tonight will go up on Atari Age if you want to play it yourself. So if I just start this, just go straight in. So I'm just trying to think what's changed. I'll go through some of the small stuff. So if we go into the how-to, one of the things I've changed in here because of functionality change in the game. If I scroll along, hang on, doors. Yeah, I'm not sure that was covered in the previous version. So I added a functionality here so that if damage occurs to a room, goes over 40%, it will stop the doors from working in that room, which means it forces the player to use the duct system. The vents. You've got to go through the grill into the ducts to get into the room you want to get to. Which kind of makes sense because if you think about it, there was no, well, if you played it, there's no real benefit to using the duct system, the vents going into the grill. So that kind of forces certain, use of that. Not always, because it depends on obviously if the damage gets to 40%, and obviously the chances of that are going to be more, higher if you play in the harder difficulties. So yeah, so there's that. Let's go to the next screen. You can see how that works there. And it explains more than 40% damage stops doors working. Access via grill to repair damage. So you get this little flashing icon in a room. I tried a few different icons there, a few different types of graphics. I originally just had some text that said doors out. It's like really tiny font. It's doors with the word out below it, but it just kind of didn't look right. And trying to get the colour and everything was a bit of a pain. So what did I try then? I tried a few different types of icons, and what I ended up with here, which I think works okay, is this little what looks like a power thing. It looks a bit like a lightning thing. I guess you go, power's out. It's not really the power, but it conveys the information. So that's that. Small cosmetic changes to each of these screens. Hang on. Even that screen there changed a bit. Actually, it shows you the item actually toggling. So if the camera's wobbling a bit there. I think the rest of this is largely the same. This is different as well. So another added piece of functionality. And these two changes, the last one I've just mentioned and this one, are kind of following on from that hit indicator that we talked about in the last video, the one I was having so much trouble with. It was really simple as well at the end of the day, the problems with that. So you can see bottom left there, you get this little flashing triangle. It just indicates, it doesn't flash in game, it's just showing you it's flashing there now just to show you what it actually is. that shows you who the alien is currently targeting. So that makes it a bit easier to be a bit tactical when you're fighting the alien, to understand actually it's totally focused on one particular person. And if you stop hitting with that person and get the other two people or one person in the room to focus hitting the alien, they will draw its attention. You will see that shift to the characters that are hitting it. So I think that's it for the help stuff, the tutorial, the how-to. I added in, I'll show you in a minute when I've actually covered the things, but I added a couple more samples. Let's just start this. I also tweaked the alien death thing, so the thing you see in a minute after you see the intro. Just let this roll through, you'll see. I had a little bit of animations of the jaw, the alien, the inner jaw that is, that goes back, as well as the slime. So that kind of just looks a bit more interesting. If I could have got if I'd have had more RAM, more space, well, not really more RAM. Yeah, it's a RAM thing. If I had more RAM, I could have actually, the part where its jaw is up, at the top and bottom, I could have actually animated that a little bit, pulled it out a little bit as that inner jaw goes back. That would look quite cool, I think. Almost just like the films. Just having a quick look. So we've only got Stu. I think everybody else is not interested following the last stream. Are you still there, Stu? Let's just have a quick look if you can see the stats.
Granny!
Oh, hang on, I'm playing a video here. Yeah, we've got some concurrent viewers there and some likes. Thank you very much for likes. By the way, if you've not already gathered, hang on, let me just go back to the camera. I can't really see what I'm doing here. If you've not already gathered, I've got some merch now. Yeah, just to help, because we're losing that many patrons with the cost of living going up and the gas and all that. So yeah, you can get mugs. That I think I need to, before you order one of those, if you did want one, I'm going to redo that, make that text larger because it's too small. And then I've also got a t-shirt on here, as you can see. I shave with Occam's razor. So there are a few different tops and all that sort of stuff, and various bits of merch. A few with different slogans and things. Right, let me just go back over there. Thank you, Lynn. Hang on, how was it going there? Right, so hang on, the alien's attacking. It's a good opportunity to see. There you go. So you can see that little red triangle, bottom left there. That's indicating he's being attacked. And there are a few sort of subtle changes here that were done to free up RAM. One of them is this progress bar here. Not progress bar, but the health bar. It's currently yellow for Parker here. Originally, that was a sprite. And it was just, eating some RAM, and it actually just made sense because it's just a bar. Just to use the built-in, one of the CC65 functions called TGI bar, I think it is. You can draw a bar, you give it an XY to start from and an XY to end at, and it will just draw a rectangle basically. And it made sense to do that, and that freed a load of RAM because I did that in a few places. So I did it there, I did it somewhere else. I can't quite remember where I did it now. The other thing I'll show you as well is, if I just reset this, just go into the classic mode. I mean, so many changes. I could spend the next hour and a half just talking about the changes I've done. So I've done that many, and I start it. But so many small, tiny little things, as well as quite large, significant, whole chunks of code have been completely rewritten. Yeah, so if I try and find an item here, the C64 version looks awful, doesn't it? It really does. It's like, I don't think I'll ever be playing this version myself again, other than on a real C64. But like the colours, I don't know. I think they had a fixed palette, didn't they? I'm not sure. I can't quite remember the C64. I think it was, which is why you got such garish palettes, colours and things here. Yeah, so if I picked up an item there, you can see there's a black background behind it, and I've done that on both modes so that when the icons overlap various things, i.e. the map, it's more noticeable on this floor here because it sits over the top of the where it says level 2, that room above level 2 there. So yeah, small things like that. I'll just reset it again. I'm going to start it again. Yeah, so as I said, that jaw. Oh, hang on, back in classic mode still, aren't we? Yeah, that wasn't what I had to do. Let's just go back. Put in enhanced again. Tons of changes to difficulty, to the morale system. A lot of bug fixes. Again, maybe, I don't know, 20 roughly 20 different bugs that I spotted. Some of them were crazy, and I only spotted them by putting some, like quite a lot of test code in place. So, like for example, I had the alien, so the alien would always be at the position of Ripley all the time, and it would always starts in the duct system, and it wasn't coming up out of the ducts on its own. It was just staying there. You could go down and then it would start to attack you, and if you went then back up it would follow you, but it would just sit there and not do anything. So there's loads of small things like that nobody's probably ever noticed, but hopefully it should be pretty bug free now. Speed wise, it was a lot faster. It's now a lot slower, and that's in part because of the issue about the power outage thing. Let's just see if I can tell you what, let's just reset it again. I'll put it on difficult, harder difficulty. Let's just go straight to extreme. Sorry, the camera's bobbing down there. It's wobbling, hitting things on the desk. I won't be too long tonight because, like I said, I'm just going to go through these changes and then have a chat if anybody wants to ask anything, and then get off probably. So if I just go to, there we go, straight to the airlock room. You can see the power is out there on this difficulty. I think I also, on the hardest difficulty, extreme, it will also damage one of the other rooms somewhere else up to that level as well. And the net result of that is if I choose move now, I can go one place. I can go to that other room, nowhere else. I cannot get through that central room to get to the left hand side top room there to get down to the next floor. So this forces you to remove the grill, go into the grill, and then either go into that room to repair the damage, because you can do that. If you've got a spanner, you could go into that room, come up into that room. I mean, I'll show you that as well. If I go to corridor 6, that's the room without the power. But it makes sense to do this because, like I say, otherwise the duct system is, what's the point? Why would you go in there? It's actually a bit harder to deal with the alien when you're in there. You go, your morale is affected more, etc. There's no real reason for the player to do that. Well, so now you have to, because obviously if a fire starts somewhere and you don't deal with that fire and the damage gets over 40%, that's it, the power will go out to that room. And it could be at a key moment in the game, perhaps where you're just about to kill the alien and suddenly it's stuck on one half of the map that you can't get to, or the android, I'll talk about that in a sec, the androids set the self-destruct and you're like, oh my god, I've got to go back to get to the self-destruct quick and switch that off before the 5-minute timer, the override is disabled, so you can't disable it. And if there's like I say, an issue where you can't get through because the doors are out, you've got to go into the duct system. So I think that kind of makes it more interesting, and it gives it a purpose. It gives the duct system a purpose. So let's just go to, hang on, let's remove the grill. What I was trying to do is just move into that room just to show you. I won't be able to go anywhere from there, but you can go past it. You can bypass it using the ducts. Need a bigger mug. Coffee feels going lol. Yeah, that's true. Evening 8-bits retro refix. Bob Jones, hey Gadget, loved your videos on Sega CD repair. Help me do my own repairs in it. Fantastic. I'm glad that helped. I've got another Sega CD video coming up soon because of my Sega CD. There's well, I'm not going to spoil it. I need to do something to it, so it's going to be a repair. I'm going to be looking at the laser and all that sort of stuff on it. Error 42, hey, how's it going? You'll be pleased to know that today I can see you and your screen is updating. Fantastic. I am paranoid and keeping a close eye on the chat just in case we have the repeat of the last stream. That was just so embarrassing. 45 or 50 minutes roughly, if you're not aware, if you didn't catch it, with me talking like this and explaining what I'm doing and changing the code, and nobody could see anything other than a static screen. It was bonkers. Ian Scott Johnston, hello, hi Ian. I was in your neck of the woods the other week. We went to Shetland. First holiday I've had in 3 years actually, because of COVID, and I had ill health the year before COVID, so I couldn't go. So yeah, first time in 3 years, and we went to Manchester. Well, you know what the airports are like at the moment, they're absolute hell. So it was a case of, and this is advice for you, if you're going on holiday anywhere, and you're going to Manchester anyway at least, don't go to the normal place, like to try and get food or whatever. It's just chaos, absolute chaos. What you want to do is you want to take some sandwiches with you, take some crisps with you, and when you go into the airport, go and find a gate a quiet gate, any gate, even if it's like a 5 or 10 minute walk away from where you think you might be departing from, just go and find a gate, and there's plenty of them that are quite quiet. So as I was saying, Ian, yeah, we flew, but we flew from Manchester, and we flew to Aberdeen. We landed in Aberdeen, and we had a 2-hour delay, and then so that was when we were in hang on, Aberdeen. Yeah, that's where you're from, isn't it? Aberdeen. So we got stuck in Aberdeen for 2 hours, and then when we came back, we had a 9-hour delay, roughly somewhere between 8 and 9 hours, and we were stuck in Inverness. It was painful. It was absolutely painful. So yeah, sorry, I know I'm waffling here. As I mentioned, every time Ian pops up, check out Ian Scott Johnson's channel. He does repairs, professional test equipment. He's just got one up from the other day that I think I've not finished watching yet, actually. It's just reminded me. I can't remember now. I'm pretty sure you did one the other day, didn't you, Ian? But yeah, he's got numerous, professional repair videos on his channel. He's certainly more knowledgeable than I am. He's a professional electronic engineer. So you should check his channel out. Absolutely subscribe to him if you like my repairs and things on my channel. So where was I here? I was explaining about the power outage. So if I choose move now, it just disappears. It just closes the move option. Oh, you can? That's interesting. Oh yeah, you can move through the grill, that's right. But if the grill's not there, if it's not open as it is now, you don't get any move options. You've got to remove the grill, go into the grill to get out of the room. So if I just move somewhere else, let's go to the computer. That's what I'm going to show you. I've done quite a lot of the changes to the computer. I've done changes all over the place. So I would say compared to the last stream, about 30% of the whole thing's been rewritten. And I've had to do that to add some of the things you'll see. If I'm in the computer room now, so let's go to the grill. That's actually where we started, I've just realised. But anyway, I was just trying to show you the whole thing about the power outage. And if we choose use computer, so I've got a sample here. Not sure if you can hear that, it sounds super quiet to me here. So if we log in, so this has been fleshed out a little bit now, so you'll notice the music does not play straight away. Originally we had the popcorn music there. Well, if you want that, you can just go down and choose popcorn.mod. Yeah, and that starts that. But you can also, if we go through these, you can see I've enlarged the avatar icons there. And I'm not sure if those were green before. I can't remember whether I had those green screen. I don't think I did. I think I had them the normal colour, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. So a change I did there was to just apply, change the palette, remove the blue, remove the red, and just leave the green for everything when you're in the computer screen there. So you can go through the different characters and see their stats. Those stats, if I have a look at Brett, for example, the physical C, those translate into the amount of health they have. But also the skills. You've got two engineers there. You've got Parker and Brett. So if you get those guys doing repairing with a spanner, they will be way more effective than any of the other crew. So that's quite good because it ties in again to, it kind of makes everything fit. And as I say, the health is variable depending on their physical stats as well now. So comms bit has not changed. Status, I'm not sure if I had that in there before. I can't honestly remember. We've got the Wayland icon up the top there as well that sort of ties it all in. This stat stuff does work. It tells you that the airlocks are damaged, self-destruct is okay at the moment. The Narcissus escape shuttle is damaged, Hypersleep's okay. And this stuff here is just a bit of fluff to make it, seem, I don't know, like it just adds to it, doesn't it? Like fuel, 64% cargo, 97%. It is a cargo ship, isn't it? Is it a mining ship or a refining ship? I can't remember what it is now. But anyway, that's that. The O2, that does reflect the O2 level within the game. And the speed, 0.7 L. Speed of light. Fire detectors. So actually the fire alarm must be going off. I mustn't have noticed. So those things work. The stats and things there do work. And then I did this, the bottom, Alien Blast. We go into that. So we've got a little game within a game. These are all things I wanted to do right from the start. When I wrote this, I was like, I really want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do the other. So I've got to the point now where I feel like I've achieved everything I set out to do here. Because, I've been able to spend time, optimising the code, freeing more space up. And it's allowed me to be able to squeeze all of this extra stuff in, including, like I say, the computer stuff, this in the computer, the music, the samples. So, because we've got a couple of different ones. So we've got the computer one. So let's just come out of there. If I press B, that reboots the computer effectively. So you've got to come back in to get out. I had to do that because of the segments, but I thought, well, kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Lots of computers, you boot a game on them, you've got to reboot it before you get back to your, your menu or your OS or whatever, don't you? So that's that. There should be a fire somewhere because that fire alarm's going off. It must be on the third deck. Yeah, let's just move Ripley there just to make sure there is a fire and it's not a bug. Let's just have a quick look at chat a sec. Looks cool, read that I think. Yeah, whoo, let's live stream again. Hey, oh, hi Christian. Did you fly a drive? Yeah, we flew Aberdeen, 15 miles from me. Yeah, I said that to my wife. I said if we got stuck there for 9 hours instead of Inverness, I could have rung you up and, I don't know, gone for a pint or something. Because that's the thing, when we were stuck at Aberdeen, not Aberdeen, when we were stuck at Inverness, you see, like 9 hours is a long time. We were like, shall we leave the airport? Should we go out for a bit? Well, we haven't got a car, we haven't got a hire car. What happens if we get stuck somewhere or something? Have you written any other games? Yes, I've done a number. I've done a few on the GP2X. I started and almost finished one on the iPhone, iOS. I started an MMORPG as well. Again, was very near completion. What it really needed is I needed a team of graphic artists. That's what I needed. I needed people that could do 3D modelling and output 2D graphics. So what I mean is I actually set up in Lightwave myself a scene, if you like. It's not called a scene, it's called something else. But I set up a scene in Lightwave and I set up cameras. I think 8 positions calculated mathematically at the right angle around the object. So you would have a character, you'd animate them running, for example, and then I could get it to take a snapshot of each angle, for each frame, and then output as just as bitmaps and load those into a library. And then add, if you think of Diablo, it was like that, isometric 3D, sort of viewed from above. But yeah, the graphics I used myself within Lightwave were just like samples and things. There's an example of a caveman or something. I stuck some clothes on him and turned into like a zombie. But it was awful because of the graphics. It really needed, like I say, a graphics team. And I don't know, I just had the confidence at the time. It was the sort of thing. If you ever played Legend of Mir, some people call it. It was a similar sort of thing to that. I was following on from that idea because I had always been a fan of Diablo, and I played Legend of Mir for 6 or 7 years. I only really left just before that thing ended. Right, anyway, what was I doing? Let's just go to the shuttle level. We'll just check chat while that's moving. Game Tech Refuge. Hi gang. Hi Dermot. Clever, we're doing it. Yeah, Stu Bonham waving. Yeah. So look, there's some fires, and look. Because I've let those fires burn, the ship's probably going to blow up any second actually. I can't get in those rooms now because the power's out, which causes you an added complication because you then need to... I've got a spanner. Hang on, let's just go back. Oh. Remove grill. Oh, but I haven't got a fire extinguisher, have I? This is the problem. I could go in there and repair. Maybe I need to tame that down a bit because alright, I've been ignoring the fire alarm there, but it does cause you a huge problem because now I not only need to put the fire out that I can't get to unless I go into the duct system, but I also need to repair the damage in order that I can... Oh, now the alien's on me, look. Yeah, anyway, so that's that. What else was I going to show you? If I go to the next floor... Have we got in the next floor? No, let's just restart it. Ship's about to blow up anyway, probably. I just want someone on the second deck, the middle deck, the large one. Because I added a sample in for the self-destruct there. And again, that was something I envisaged right from the very start. I just couldn't fit it in. And the sample stuff, it's still not ideal because what I would like to... There's 2 things I'd like to do with this still. One of them is to change the text, as I mentioned in the last few videos on this. It'd be nice to have a smaller font and just blip the actual letters myself rather than use the built-in text out functions. I'm not sure it'll be any faster, to be honest, because I think they're pretty well optimized as they are. The only way it might gain is if you're using a smaller font. You know, these letters, for example, the text here, it's probably 8 characters by 8 at a guess, something similar to that. I think it is, because some of the code I've done is calculated stuff, you know, adding a word to something that's already there based on the assumption it's 8 by 8, and it looks perfect. So I think they are 8 by 8. So if you had a smaller font of maybe 5 by 5 or 6 by 6, yeah, there could be some advantage there in performance, because it's not able to blink quite as much. Got 2 fire extinguishers there, look. Anyway, if I go to the self-destruct, I can try this now. If the volume's not loud enough, you won't be able to hear this. Hopefully it is. Let me just turn the volume up myself so I can hear it. And, yeah, one thing of note here, hang on, what's going on with the volume? Oh, it's because I'm on a VM. Yeah, one thing of note here is the handy emulator here. It seems to run faster than actual Lynx. So it's interesting that in terms of compatibility wise, every bug that I've hit on here, I get on the actual device. It seems absolutely one-to-one in terms of behaviour. You know, you get crashes at exactly the same point. They behave exactly the same way. But what it isn't is exactly the same clock speed. So you'll hear this sample in a minute and it sounds like chipmunks. It doesn't on an actual Lynx. I had to deliberately slow this down to make it sound correct on the Lynx. It was too fast on the Lynx, and the result now, it sounds too chipmunk-like on here, I think. I might have that the wrong way around. I think it was too slow on the Lynx, and to get it just right on the Lynx, yeah, I've had to slow it down. Oh, speed it up. Oh, I don't know, I'm getting confused. It's that time of day again. Let's just go to the next room. There we go. Hang on, there's someone already in that room. Oh, 3 characters there. Yeah, that's one thing I haven't fixed yet, or put any indication on. That if you try moving a character to a room where there's 3 other characters, you can't move to that room. It just, the end of the move, they just stay where they are. And in fact, I had someone the other day saying, I tried to move and it wasn't working, it's obviously broke. And I'm like, no, you probably had 3 people in the room and you didn't realise. So yeah, I need to do something with that. The hit stuff works, obviously. You know, I think I covered that. That was one of the previous videos, wasn't it? So, yeah, when the character gets hit, it comes up the top left saying hit. The alien gets hit, it says hit. And when the android gets hit, it says hit. Did I say hit enough times there? The other thing I was going to come back to the android in a minute. Let me just do the self-destruct. Yeah, you saw it say hit there. So that all works perfectly now as well. If we go back to one of those. So here we go, self-destruct. Yeah, so that sounds like chipmunks, doesn't it? But trust me, it sounds correct on an actual Lynx. So yeah, that was something I always wanted to add in there. One of the things I sidetracked myself. One of the things I was going to say before, other than the text thing, the second thing I want to change is the samples. What I would prefer to have done with the samples, instead of just having the CPU, what's the word? Totally focused on that sample playback. What you ideally want, and they do it in other Lynx games, so I'm just not really sure how the best way to achieve that. Probably with an interrupt. Perhaps use one of the timers and have an interrupt, you know, associated with that, so that as that interrupt is raised, it just feeds the next byte. In fact, think about it, I could probably do that pretty easily. I don't know. One of the problems I've got though, the architecture of the way that this code is laid out now, because you know, as I mentioned a number of times, I've got like certain blocks of memory that are used to page in and out segments, and that's the Achilles heel here. So it's like the sample, one of the main code blocks. I think it's actually the main code block. The game has to literally pause, yeah, load that sample and the playback routine right over the top of everything, like all of the main code, because the sample's pretty big. It's like, I don't know, 12, 13k, and in fact that self-destruct one is 2 samples. You probably heard a little click in the middle. I need to play with that to see if I can get rid of that click. It's really been bugging me, but I've had to do it in 2 halves. I had to cut the sample into 2 halves because I only had like 13k or something of space to fit that in. So yeah, in an ideal world, your sample playback, you want a timer with an interrupt, and whenever that interrupt's raised, you want to just feed a byte or so many to the DAC, Ideally one, but then how often would that interrupt be firing? It could deteriorate slow the game down when a sample's playing. So I don't know. It's one of those. I'd have to play around with it and work out what the best thing is. So yeah, that's that. The Android, if I yeah. So what I've done with the Android, there were a few things with the Android. If you've played this, you'll notice that you can maybe play it, I don't know, 20 or 30 times and never encounter the Android. That doesn't happen now. I have changed it in such a way. Well, it's still got the original way the Android worked, which is the timer, the O2 thing up here. It actually says TOOH on the C64, the classic mode. But that timer, when it gets down to 50%, if you've not reached Earth at that point, you're not killed the alien, that's where you have a percentage chance of the Android flipping and making itself known and going around and starting attacking everybody. It goes crazy. But that percentage chance is pretty low, which is why you could play it 20 times, play it all the way to the end and never see the Android. You just find out the Android's, who it is at the end when the game over kind of thing. So I've changed that, just a bit like we did with the Ducks, to find a way to force that into the game so that every time you play it, there's a good chance that is going to be one of the things that happen. Yeah, so the Android, it's still got that chance, 50% chance, not 50% chance. When the time is down to 50%, the oxygen's down to 50%, there's still a chance it could flip if it hasn't already flipped. But if the Android takes damage, I suspect he might be the Android actually, because it's been attacking him a while, his health's not going down, and that's a clue, because the Android has more health than anybody else. But when the Android gets down to approximately the damage that the humans normally have, that's when I flip the Android. So that will happen quite often, more than not. You have you get a few people fighting the Android, and again, it's only a chance. That will cause the Android to flip. He's dead, isn't he? So it's not him. Oh, here's the Android there. Android broke. Look, he's flipped. Ash gone crazy, it says at the bottom. And he'll probably wander off now, unless he's in a room where he can't get out. I don't actually know where he is. Where is he? He's in the shuttle bay. Yeah, he should be able to get away from there. Maybe he's fighting the alien. No, he's gone. Look, he's off. So this is the fun thing. I spent ages just sat watching him to do the tests and stuff to see where he goes, because that's the other thing, right? We've now got this thing where you can't go into or out of rooms where there's no power. Yeah, the damage is over 40%. You can't get in and out of that room. The alien and the Android now adhere to that as well. I completely rewrote the alien code to make it fix loads of things, make it better, and all the rest of it. But I had to do the similar thing with the Android. The Android's died now. I think the alien got him. He didn't last long, did he? Yeah, so that makes again, more interesting. It was a bit flat as it was. I mean, it's still not an super exciting game, but it is if you like real-time strategy games. More so now that you've not only got the fires to deal with, but you've got the room damage. You've got to use the ducts, and the Android will more often than not go nuts at some point, and you'll not only have to fight the Android. The Android, I don't know if I mentioned, can do all sorts of things. The Android can set the self-destruct. So you can be doing something, fighting the alien, and suddenly the Android turns, flips, goes running off somewhere, and the next thing you know, the self-destructs start. And if you're trying to focus on dealing with the alien, you've then got another problem to deal with. You've got to go and try and switch the self-destruct off, as well as fight the Android if the Android pops up on the screen. Watching this makes me miss Windows XP. Yeah, I like Windows XP. It's probably full of holes and things security-wise, but it's pretty solid. It's like I never have any problems with this VM at all, and I never had any problems with my previous machine here that I've still got here actually that runs XP. Yeah, I'm getting that comfy at-home feeling from the XP toolbar at the bottom, even though I prefer the more classic grey. Yeah, I always went that way. I changed the the config and all that so that it's like, is it like 95? I changed this as well, and I did the same on Windows 10 to make it like that. I don't know, I just like things being the same sort of way, really. I'm a creature of habit. Anyway, what else have we got? I think that's it. I think that's probably it, because I've talked about the Android, talked about the power outage stuff. Obviously, I'm going to show you other thing as well. If we reset that, I added the sound testing. So if you go into credits and you get past that screen, on Alison's screen here, if you press B, you get the sound test up, and if I hit A, yeah, so this is a bit like on a Mega Drive cart or something, where you can actually just test the sounds. So those are all of the generated sounds, then you get the samples, I think. That's the alien. Chipmunks saying self-destruct that don't sound like chipmunks on a real Lynx. And then we got alien dying. Oh, I've got something else to show you. Yeah, computer sound there, play that again. And then the 2 music files that are in there, which is the title music and popcorn. So yeah, I added that in order to test the samples, because you know what it was like? The last few streams I've been like, oh, it's a pain in the bum testing stuff, unless you try and add loads of lines of test code, coding to stimulate a particular thing. In fact, we need to do that now. And I got sick of trying to do that with the samples, having to get, like Computer Room, for example, having to go to the computer to start the computer up to get that computer sample. It was just driving me nuts. So that's why I added that in. It seemed to make sense. So if we just do damage equals 100, I was trying to find some commented out. There we go. If we blast it out the airlock. This has changed. The alien graphics I've tidied up, because he had a bit of a deformed arm when I first showed this, so that's all been tidied up. But I also, do you remember it was flashing red? And someone said, could you not have the red flash? Well, I did what I said I was going to do, which is to do a palette shift. So for those red flashes now, when the airlock light is kind of flashing, if you like, it's the whole palette has changed. So and you haven't got the flicker. So there's no flicker there. It's just like it goes red, normal, red, normal, red, normal, etc. And I guess it's worth talking about that. It was quite simple to do. Hang on a minute. Probably going to need to change the memory stuff here now. 7 bytes overflowed there. This is the problem, you see. It's like as soon as you start adding 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of code like that out of RAM again. I just got to hope we've got enough left here. So if we change that to F, was that D? I can't remember what that said now. Yeah, it's D. E6 should be right, I think. Oh no, we haven't got enough RAM. 7 bytes. Did I go too big there? Let's just set that down to E0. I don't think so. I think that's exactly what we needed. I just think we've not got there. Look, we see we're over. We still need 6 bytes, and we're 1 overflowed on the RAM. I didn't see this one coming. Trying to think what I could comment out just to get that working. Oh, that is super annoying. See, I did some changes just before this stream, and there you go. I've used every single byte up again. I'm at that point where if I find a bug, I'm going to have to spend quite a while trying to optimize again. Optimize. Try and free a few bytes up in order to fix the bug. What we can do is, I was trying to think. Yeah, on the draw, I see where draw text is. Is that in the main segment? Oh, it's not. It's in 2D. I tell you what. We'll just force the alien to the airlock and blow out the airlock ourselves. That's the easiest thing. That is a pain though, because like now when I want to test stuff, I can't just put a, like you just saw, uncomment a line of code. That won't work anymore. We've got no bytes left. So let's just go back to our damage equals 100. Oh, that was it. I missed it. There we go. Right, so we'll just comment that out. And we'll just stick the alien in the airlock. So it's always in airlock 1. Well, try doing both of those. Let's set the damage to 0. That might work. 1 byte over. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Okay, we'll have to repair it. Let's just do that. 1 byte? How are we still 1 byte over? Oh, I know why. Sorry, hang on. No, we can put this back. I think what it's saying 1 byte over is because I've increased this here larger than it needs to be now. Let's just set that back to D0. I don't know. Let's see what it says. See how big it needs to be. Yeah, it's saying 11 bytes. So 11, is that A? No, it's not, is it? 9A B, isn't it? I think. There we go. Yeah, just got enough bytes for that. So the airlock should be functional, I think. The alien should be forced into the airlock, so we can just blow it out the airlock ourselves. Let's just have a quick look at chat. I'm going to be getting off in a sec. If you've got any questions or anything, give me a let me know now, because I'm going to go and get my tea soon. I'm going to watch Alien tonight, actually. I've not watched it in a number of years. What is the chance that Jones is the android? Oh, that's another thing I did as well. I've done loads of different small things. There's just so many things I'll forget to mention. Jones, if Jones comes into the room now when the alien's not around and you've got low morale, your morale will go up by a point. There's just loads of small things like that. And similarly, you know, your morale go down with certain things as well. But yeah, what I wanted to do with Jones is, you know, I don't know if you've seen, but like when the alien's on the screen, you're fighting the alien, occasionally Jones will come on and he's like bouncing across the screen. What I wanted to do, and I tried it just before this, but I didn't have enough bytes, is when Jones comes along and gets to almost the point where the alien is, turns around and actually legs it the other way. But there's not enough space. There's not enough space. Stephen Leary, howdy. How you feeling, Stephen? Stephen's not been well. I think he's had the COVID. Are you feeling any better, Stephen? Boss walked in whilst I was trying to watch this on the Sky. Gone now so I can enjoy. Excellent. Right, okay. Pokey poke. Mut punch. Yeah, there's no poking it. Oh, well, there is, technically. Poking code. What was I going to do then? I can't remember. Oh, blow the alien out the airlock. Let's see if anyone's on that right floor. Yeah, so I don't think I'll do a video for, like I say, another version of this, because I think that'd be it. I think this is, as far as functionality wise, this is the final version. It's just a case of there might be a 1.5 if there's any issues, really. It's not really worth doing a video on, unless it's something interesting, I guess. Let's just go to the airlock. Yeah, so for those just joining, as I mentioned, if you want to get a t-shirt, I've got some merch now. I'll post a link down below later. It just helps the channel continue and helps the channel grow, because we have lost a number of patrons recently with all of these cost of living things. It's scary, isn't it, how much everything's going up. Gas is just ridiculous. We're having to get a new boiler fitted this week. I think it's this week, yeah, 5th, because they can't get parts for our boiler anymore. It's like, I don't know, it's well old. And it's really inefficient, so yeah, it's costing a fair bit, but it needs to be done. Got no choice. Put it off long enough. Right, here we go. So there's the alien. He keeps popping in and out. Look, because the code is forcing it into the airlock, but it still has a move of its own, so it jumps out of the airlock and back in again. The code is forcing it back in. So blow it out the airlock. There you go. So you can see there's the red flashes now, but it's not doing what it did before. When it's red, the image is still there, because it is just the palette. And then we've got the alien death sound at the end there. So yeah, that's it in summary for all the changes. So as I say, I'll stick that up on the Atari Age in a minute. I'm going to go get my tea, I think, and I'm probably going to get off. I might do another stream over the next few days, but if I do, it'll be something else. Stephen said, I've had to let the butler go. It makes me laugh, because some guys I work with used to take the mick out of me because we've got a gardener. You know, they was like, when, you know, have you got a butler as well? And I was like, well, the only reason we have a gardener is because he's dead cheap. And it's like, if I go out there to cut the grass, it'll take me a couple of hours minimum. And he has it done in about 5 minutes. You know, he's got like a proper petrol lawnmower and all the stuff, and he's just like in and out, and it's like, it's just not worth it. So yeah. So anyway, thank you very much for watching and stuff, joining the stream. Yeah, I hope you are feeling a bit better, Stephen. Anybody else who's feeling unwell, yeah, have a great weekend. Like I say, I might do another stream on something else over the weekend. Either another system or something electronics or something, I don't know. I will catch you in the next video.